I'm Jeff Cox with PowerPlus Electrical Service, your favorite electrician. And today we're going to talk about AFCIs and GFCIs and what are they and what's the difference and why do I need them and why are they important and all that stuff. GFCIs have been around the longest, for a long time. And GFCI stands for Ground Fault Circuit Interrupter. So, first question in my mind when I hear that is, what in the world is a ground fault? What does that mean? Well, the ground fault is when one of the conductors faults or shorts to ground. So we were concerned about that fault or that short being through you and energy and power going through you and electrocuting or shocking you. So the ground fault is there to prevent that from happening. And how that happens is the ground fault is constantly monitoring how much power is going through the breaker or the receptacle. And it's monitoring how much is on what we call the hot, how much current is on the hot, how much current is on the neutral. It's looking for a variation in that current of approximately 0.004 of an amp, which is actually very, very, very small. So if it detects a variation in the current, which is caused by one of those conductors faulting the ground, it turns the circuit off and prevents you from getting shocked. And ground faults are necessary and are code required on any receptacle that serves a kitchen countertop, any receptacle within 6 feet of a sink, like in your laundry room, in your garage, any receptacle in a bathroom, any receptacle in a garage, crawl space, unfinished basement, outside receptacles. Those all are required to be GFCI protected. All right, let's talk about arc fault circuit interruption now. This is also called combination arc fault circuit interrupters, or just arc fault. We're going to call them arc faults just for ease of conversation. There are two types of arcs that we're concerned about. One is a planned arc. When a switch is turned off and on, there's a little arc inside that switch, just a little spark, and that's a planned spark. When you turn your vacuum cleaner off and on, there's a little spark involved there with the motor and the switch, and those are planned sparks, or planned arcs. An unplanned arc is if there's a damaged wire, perhaps damaged by when you hung a picture on the wall and you drove a nail through a wire. When a mouse unfortunately got into your attic or your crawl space and chewed into a wire. When the electrician, when they installed the wire, installed it incorrectly and it's shorted out. These are unplanned arcs. And the arc fault circuit breaker has in a sense, a little microprocessor computer inside that is analyzing the current flowing through that breaker. And it's able to detect when there's an unplanned arc. And when it detects that unplanned arc, it realizes there's a danger and it turns the power off to the circuit. In your home, you probably have a fire extinguisher somewhere. If you don't, you should. You should have smoke detectors in the house, several of them. These devices are there for your safety, to help prevent fire. Same thing with the arc fault breaker. It's there for your safety, to help prevent fire, to help save your life. We've talked about arc fault circuit interruption. We've talked about ground fault circuit interruption, AFCIs and GFCIs. They're both there for your safety. The GFCI specifically to keep you from getting electrocuted. The arc fault there specifically to prevent a fire. They're both are there for your safety ultimately. And they can coexist on the same circuit. There's breakers that are called dual function breakers that function as an AFCI and a GFCI. If you have a situation where your breaker trips and you reset it by turning it off firmly and then back in the on position. If you do that scenario off and then back on and it doesn't want to stay in the on position, then you've got an arc fault. It could be a bad breaker. It could be something in your circuit that has gone wrong. At any rate, if that condition is in your home, you need to call an electrician.